adopt the agenda for the regular council meeting January 23rd as amended to add the appointment of Richard Patet to item 7.1.
You have my motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Consent agenda. Ask for a motion from Councillor Nychuk that the following are adopted by omnibus motion in accordance with council's procedure bylaw, January 9th regular council meeting minutes and the strategic priorities chart.
I'll make that motion for you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Public comments. Is there anybody that would like to speak towards anything on the agenda today? See none, hear none. Pioneer Square poplar tree risk assessments. Darlene?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm here this afternoon to present the results of the tree risk assessments on 2 poplar trees located in Pioneer Square at 120 McLeod Trail Southwest. The assessments were requested by Council as a follow-up to administration's recommendation for the removal of the 2 trees at regular Council meeting on December 12th, 2022. The risk assessments were performed by a third-party contractor with the following results. The east tree was determined as low risk with minor defects which could be addressed with pruning. The west tree was assessed and identified as high risk. Observations included frost cracks visible on 2 sides of the tree with signs of decay present. This tree shows a less than average rate of healing, and based on the observations made regarding this tree, it is possible that under certain normal weather conditions, the whole tree could fail. Based on the size of the tree, targets below the impact would have severe consequences. The west tree has a high level of risk and potential failure. Since targets cannot be moved and it would not be practical to limit access around the tree, removal is the recommendation for the west tree. Administration recommends that Council approve the pruning of 1 poplar tree and the removal, including stump removal, of 1 poplar tree at Pioneer Square at 120 McLeod Trail Southwest. And I'm open to questions if there are any.
Questions from council? None. Are there other trees that are more dangerous that we should be concerned about? Or is this the?
With, I mean, 12th Avenue has a few trees that are in decline. We noticed that even especially just after the road construction this past year. Decline, deadwood, immediate concern, not right at this point. This would be probably our higher risk tree just based on the decay and such. The other ones would be considered their priority removals, just maybe not imminent at this point.
And this one having trunk issues is a.
Yes, and there
Bigger
were
concern.
some signs of decay within that column, and of course cracks on both sides of the tree. You always worry that it could meet in the middle and you could have a catastrophic failure with the trunk of the tree. Yeah.
Councillor Walsh?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. What is the timeline for addressing these trees?
So for this poplar tree, we would probably see removal would be within the next couple of weeks. It's based on the contractor's availability to remove them, but it should proceed pretty quickly.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Barton?
Thank you, Mayor. Quick question on those 2 trees specifically at Pioneer Square. Is there any issues with, because I think they're in beds, are they not? Is
Yes,
there
they are.
any concerns with like the root coverage or crown coverage or anything like that?
No, based on the assessment, it was actually noted that the root system isn't disturbing any of the concrete or pavement in the area, which is unusual. So they've found a source somewhere below, well below ground level that isn't causing any concerns above ground. So at this point, no. Once removal is done, you do get some suckering. It's just natural with the trees when you remove them, but those can be addressed when they're quite a bit smaller.
Okay, thank you.
No further questions. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Kinghorn that council authorize the removal, including the stump removal of the west poplar tree and pruning of the east poplar tree, and that council approve funding of $10,000 for removal and pruning of these trees and stump.
Thank you, Mayor Snodgrass. I'll give you that motion.
All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Darlene. Human capital management software selection. Sonia?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council.
Jessica.
Thanks for having us here today. There isn't a second
that I look
space
up.
anymore for us to put two names in, so we just decided to slide in under
Alrighty.
Sonia's name.
Thank you.
As council is aware, the town posted an RFP for a new financial enterprise resource planning software solution in April 2022. That RFP closed in June of 2022. The RFP was open to vendors with a complete or partial software solution that would answer the town's needs as outlined in that RFP. Administration shortlisted vendors and completed software demonstrations in the summer of 2022. After further research and review of all of the information in the responses, the vendor demonstrations, staff feedback, and the senior leadership team met with the project team and provided direction. Administration has decided to split the project into 4 phases, with the first phase to proceed being human capital management. Now I'll hand it over to Sonia.
Yes, thanks, Jess. And good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'm honored to be here today to present the recommendations for our human capital management system. So our current systems for paying and supporting our staff and housing our human resources information is in 3 separate computer programs, numerous spreadsheets, forms, and other documents that does require many hours of hands-on intervention. In addition to the hours that HR and payroll staff take to manage the systems and the tracking, our people leaders, as well as a number of our administrative staff, are also taking hours of tracking, recording, and checking. And none of the systems that we currently have are integrated or able to speak to each other, which results in multiple entries and checking. And also, of course, would be more chance of human error. The benefits of moving to an integrated HR and payroll system are threefold. One is increasing productivity to reduce the multiple entries and manual tracking. 2, to enhance the employee experience, a single system for all things related to their employment and their pay. And lastly, to improve efficiency and access for everyone, including interfacing with other systems, including finance and asset management. Through the demos and references reviewed, Ceridian and Dayforce is the best match for our identified needs. Today, we recommend that Council approve the Human Capital Management Software contract with Ceridian Canada Limited. We're happy to take any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica and Sonia. Councillor Nychuk.
Thanks, Mayor Snodgrass. Thanks, ladies, for the presentation. Appreciate it. Considering from what I read, it's a 36-month contract. Do we have a life cycle span for this software? We know software companies are great at putting something out there, and then in a certain time frame, it disappears, and then there's a required ask for new software. So, do you guys have any information on their projected life cycle for this piece of software?
Absolutely. So their projected life cycle is ongoing. They update it regularly. Quarterly updates are pushed out to all clients and customers, and they don't have anything else on the go. They are constantly improving the current product of Dayforce continuously. So there's nothing in the pipeline, no plans to retire, and current development just goes into Dayforce to improve and update that ongoingly.
Great, thank you. May I have another question, Your Worship?
Thin ice.
I appreciate it. Okay, and then in the 60,000 annual licensing, can I be safe to assume that that includes the updates and all that good stuff? That's a comprehensive 60,000 to cover everything, including, I guess, their IT support to whichever of our staff members are going to be using the software.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Since we're going to the Flames game tonight, you either owe me one beer or nachos with the heart attack sauce. Neither one will be just fine. Winner, winner. Call me what you want then. Okay, I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Jones that council approve the human capital management software contract award to Ceridian Canada for the procurement of, and implementation and staffing of the project in the amount of $220,000 in 2023, and that annual licensing for Ceridian Canada will be approximately $60,000 per year for an initial term of 36 months, continuing in perpetuity until written notice of termination by either party as laid out in Ceridian's terms. And further, that the mayor and council authorize administration to execute the agreement.
May I make a comment?
Yep.
In the recommendation portion of the report, it says 240, and in the be it resolved portion, you said 220.
On my script, it says 220. What is the
Yes,
number?
my error in leaving the 4 in that second piece. My apologies. Thank you for finding it. It is 220.
Okay, then I will give you that motion, Mayor Snodgrass.
You just saved 20 grand. Congratulations. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Rimrock Feedlot, standing item, Councillor Nychuk.
Well, weren't we quick today? Right there. Okay, bear with me as I go through my little bit of notes here. As far as update, I had a lot of people from the community reach out to me on our interaction, shall we say, with the county on the project. So I've been advising those community members that IMC is that platform where we can formally have some discussion with the county. Now, IMC is intermunicipal committee or council where we sit just with the folks from the county. We had some that were deferred. So our next meeting is March 2nd. So I'll be asking for some agenda items to be put in there related to the biodigester. As many people in the community are aware, this Wednesday, the county is holding a meeting concerning the biodigester. The attendance of that meeting is by registration only. I've had members of the community ask me if I will be attending. Nope, not my meeting. I am a councillor with the town of High River, so this is where I sit and do my business. I will let them do their business. I will watch remotely to see what comes of it. And probably more than likely I'll have some comment coming to our next meeting from there. But will also give me some further information as to what I may ask or may not ask for the IMC agenda that will be coming up for March 2nd. We were under consideration for writing a letter to the BC Utilities Commission. Mr. Prosser and myself had met on that. I provided some information to him regarding a private citizen from the county that had written directly to the BC Utilities Commission, who basically said, we don't hold any authority for anything. It's kind of a rubber stamp. So you're going down the wrong rabbit hole. So in consultation and conversation with Chris. That letter writing campaign will start from a number of other different initiatives, meeting to several ministers within the province of Alberta, Minister of Environment, Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Energy. Premier will get copied on all those. Also directly to energy company, meaning to the president, CEO of Fortis, instead of going through the BC Utilities Commission. We'll write directly our concerns to those companies that are seemingly already on board with supporting the project through their economic involvement, shall we say. Further to our continuing education as council, Tidewater Renewables had a meeting scheduled with Mayor Snodgrass and myself some time ago. Unfortunately, my work schedule didn't allow me to attend that meeting, so Mayor Snodgrass did. Tidewater Renewables did extend an invitation to me to meet with them personally. I returned a reply and I got timed out there. Am I done?
I didn't touch anything.
Oh, I was like,
I got beer and nachos. I'm not touching you.
okay. So anyway, they extended an invitation to me. I said that's something I would like all of council to participate in. That just because I happen to be the lead on this with all of council, I want all of council to be present. So I extended an invitation to one of our committee of the whole meetings. Tidewater Renewables has not replied yet. I'm trying not to read into that non-reply, but hopefully we will have them come directly, and I will be more than willing to share with the community anything that is not of a confidential nature after we have that meeting. So, Mr. Mayor, that just about is the, two more things. Yeah, Alberta Utilities Commission and Alberta Energy Regulator also will be on that letter campaign list, so we can raise the awareness of our concerns. Again, as I've stated before, at this point, I see more negative impact in this project going forward. And for me, I still sit at a no, but that doesn't mean I'm not open to the education, the dialogue, and the assurances that a company or somebody might provide me that this will not harm High River in any way, shape, or form. So I'm still steadfast on that position. So that's my update for right now, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Nychuk. Any questions from council? Councillor Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Nychuk, can you confirm whether or not the suggestions in the fall to have the lagoon systems cleaned out, has that been completed, or have we had confirmation of that?
Are you referring to the feedlots?
Yes.
Yeah, just conjecture. I've heard they have been, and they
Okay.
were, but I can reach out to them I haven't received a direct confirmation that had happened, so.
Yeah.
But
I can confirm, I confirmed with Kendra that yes, they were.
They were.
There we go.
It
Thank you,
was
Mr.
cleaned
Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
On my end, piggybacking on with Michael, so yeah, I had that meeting one-on-one with Tidewater, and then they did have a webinar. And I don't know, is that webinar public that went on there? What was that, last week and a half ago now? Can't remember.
I didn't see anything about it being confidential or private, so I'm assuming it's attached to their website that
I think it's gotta be. Oh, I
anybody
have
could
this
go and have a
info.
look at it.
Anyways, the reason why I attended the webinar, because you weren't allowed to even have your camera on or your mic on or anything. There was no questions or anything. It was just Tidewater and their engineers and scientists and everything doing their speech. The reason why I attended, because I wanted to make sure that the two stories were lining up, and they did. The webinar was even much more in detail as to exactly what they're doing, but when Tidewater explains it, if it worked that way, be fantastic. And if it reduced the smell, fantastic. And we can get renewable natural gas out of it, fantastic. But I'm a little bit concerned that because this is the biggest biodigester in the world and the first one to be used on any kind of scale in an ag using manure and on an ag project like this, I'm a little bit concerned that, not a little bit, but this pilot project being this close to High River. Now, where could you put it? I have no idea. But we already have one issue in High River with the smell directly from the feedlot, and I sure as hell don't want to see this thing make it worse. So I did contact Roger, my guy at Alberta Environment, who is kind of working on this project as well. And what my question was is that if this biodigester is approved and built, and doesn't work and makes the situation in High River worse, what teeth exists in legislation or anything for us to get it shut down or changed or something? And the problem is that, like he said if it's with H2S or something, that's easy to monitor. If it goes up, they don't like it, they put immediate stop on things and they make changes until the H2S is dealt with. When it's something like smell, it's much more subjective and very hard to kind of decide which, whether it's worse or better or anything, because my nose and your nose are two different things. So anyways, he was going to look into more as to exactly what is there that might be available to us. So I'm actually meeting with Roger and one other gentleman, I don't know who it is yet, but on Wednesday morning I'll be having a talk with them just to start weeding through what we do if it does become a problem, if it's approved. But one thing's glaringly obvious that Michael and I have talked about numerous times is that there's, because these things are so new, there's virtually no regulation or legislation that governs these biodigesters, especially at this level. So I think that's something that the town of High River, if this thing's approved, that the town of High River should really take a lead in figuring out what regulation improvements can be made and have the authority lie directly with the Alberta government rather than the NRCB is kind of where it sits right now, correct, Michael? It's kind of where the weight of...
Yeah, correct, because it falls under the guise of agriculture right now,
Agriculture.
which absolutely blows me away because it's an energy producing facility. It's using a agricultural byproduct, but it should fall under energy regulation and legislation, in my opinion.
Yep. So I think we just need to start weeding through that. So that's where we are. I can give an update after my meeting on Wednesday at the next council meeting. Councillor Walsh?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Do we have a confirmation of the status of this project? And I ask for that clarification because there seems to be so much assumption through the community that it's already been approved, we're doomed. So where is it exactly in the process? Like, what's a simple response to give people the right information?
The project has not been approved, period. There's a development permit through the county which allowed them to do dirt work, earth removal, site works. That's it.
Clarification. The development permit was waived, so the development permit doesn't exist. So they started earthwork without a development permit in place, but
they were allowed to do
yeah,
that.
they were
didn't
allowed.
do
They were
anything
allowed to
sneaky.
do it. It wasn't sneaky. They just didn't start to go out there and do the work. The county just deemed that it wasn't necessary that the development permit existed
For the groundwork.
for the groundwork. Yes.
So the rest of the project is still on the table for discussion, and just the groundwork has happened with the approval being waived.
The approval is sitting with Alberta Environment right now,
Okay.
and they are the ones that will give it the yes or no. if they give it the yes, then we will decide where we fit in that. If it's a no, it's a no, but.
Of course.
If it's a yes, then
Okay.
council will discuss what our.
I asked the question right here with everyone present in the microphone in hopes that some people that are worrying that it's simply been waived and approved, because that is unfortunately a common conversation. So perhaps more people will share that it has not
Has
been complete.
not been
Yes.
approved.
Thank you for entertaining this.
And if you're looking for an estimated time frame for the public, they're talking late March or late February, early March. I think AEP will probably go into March somewhere when they finally make some kind of a decision. That would be the earliest in my estimation anyway.
Thank you, Councillor Nychuk.
No other questions on that one? Board and committee reports. No, I need some help with this one. Karen? No, I think I need you over here. I need that much help, just so I don't get this screwed. Thank you. This is just appointments for the Harbor Regional Airport Board, Foothills County. Appointed Gary Jones. And then on our end, I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Kinghorn that Mayor and Council accept the reappointment of Toby Klein for term to expire December 31st, 2024, and the appointment of Richard Patet to expire December 31st, 2023, to the Harbor Regional Airport Board.
What about Gary Jones? Oh, that was already ours? Okay. I'll give you that motion, Mayor Snodgrass.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Board and committee minutes, Museum of the Highwood, meeting minutes are available. Any reports from councillors? Councillor Jones?
I hope that everybody saw it, but the High River Library has free library cards for the year 2023 for all High River and Foothills County residents.
Sweet. Thank you. Nothing else? Any public comments regarding what we discussed in the agenda? See none, hear none. Council correspondence requiring action. Proclamation request from the Epilepsy Association of Calgary. I'll ask for a motion from Councillor Barton that council authorize the mayor to sign the proclamation for the Epilepsy Association of Calgary.
Mayor, you have my motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Correspondence for information. Happy New Year. Letter to Mr. Copping, Town of Bon Accord. Email regarding the digester feedlot. Email to Mayor Snodgrass regarding NPF's recommendations for safer Alberta, and the email regarding questions and concerns about Rimrock feeders. Questions, comments on those? Nothing? Good. Meeting adjourned 3:28. Thank you very much.